Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Battle Inside podcast. I am your host, Chris America. This is a podcast about my own journey and battle with my mental health and the things going on in my life and how going on in my life affect my mental health and how my mental health affects the things going on in my life. I'd like to start off first. I'm going to do it this time. I'm finally going to do it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical expert. I'm not a psychological expert. I'm not even a certified crisis counselor or anything of the sort. I'm just a guy. I'm a jag. I'm a guy just doing this podcast to lend out my perspective and to lend out my thoughts to help me get them off and out of my chest and out of my head and hopefully help you by you being able to relate to me, you being able to see my persistence in my fight, and I don't know, it's helped out a lot of people. I've had so many messages come into me. I know I say that every time, and it's, even though I've been doing this for over a month now, I still have a hard time believing it. I still have a hard time believing that I can help other people, because sometimes I feel like I can't help myself, or I'm not able to help people closest to me and people that I care about. And I wonder why I can help other people but not them. But yeah, so I'll just jump right into it. It's been a while. I think it was 2 Sundays ago I did a show. I'm pretty sure. I know I didn't do one on my last day off last Wednesday. I had a fairly busy day and just didn't have time. Just haven't had time this whole entire almost 2 weeks now, week and a half, since I last recorded an episode, and a lot has happened since then. It started out really good, and now it's led me here, and I'm kind of bummed. I'm kind of frustrated, because had I done a recording on Thursday, or had I done a recording this past Sunday if I had time, it would have been a fun, happy episode. It would have been something that I would have been like, man, I'm doing it. Things are turning around. Things are looking good. Actually, things are looking great. And so I'll just start you off from the beginning of last week. Monday, unexpectedly to me, I get a text message from the ex. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, to kind of, I guess, give you a quick synopsis, going through a divorce. We both have one child. They're both 10 years old. We've been together for 3 years. I've helped raise her kids. She's helped raise mine. Out of the blue, and I'm not selling this any short. I'm telling you, out of the blue, she decides she's done and she doesn't want to be with me anymore, and she's not happy. And yeah, and when I say out of the blue, I mean we got married in January, and come end of March, she's done. And she's not happy. And she feels like we're on a path to just the worst marriage in the world, and she's going to be unhappy forever. And so she's done. And I didn't take it well at all. Sorry, I'm trying to calm my nerves. I'm trying to calm my anxiety. And she didn't handle it well at all. She treated me like... Anyways, if you want a full update, please just go back and listen to episode 1, which started this whole thing, because 6 days in to her deciding that she's done and she's over our marriage and our relationship and our family, unfortunately, I spiraled down into a dark, lonely place to where I was contemplating suicide. And clearly I didn't do it. Clearly I'm still here. And so I started this podcast to help me with this, because that's not the first time. And I'm going to bust my ass to make sure it's the last time I'm ever in that situation. So it's been a whole month, a whole bunch of podcasts, 7 episodes in. This is now episode number 8. And I've been working on it, and I've been improving, and I've been going to therapy, and I've been talking to friends, and I've been leaning on my support system, and I've been moving on, and I've been getting better knowing that out of all of the awful, awful things that she did to me, that I was going to find peace and acceptance of it, that I was going to find a way to forgive her and to try to find peace with or without her. She was showing no signs of apologizing to me. She was showing no signs of wanting to make any sort of effort to make it work, or to at least make it work on a level to where we can remain in each other's kids' lives, to where we could end this peacefully and in a place of resolve and closure. And so she was showing no signs of that, and I was making good headway of finding peace and acceptance, and I was getting to a place. I was still missing the hell out of her son because I love her son more than anything. But I was slowly finding healing in that. And then Monday of last week, Monday the 13th, 3:18 p.m., I get a text message that I honestly had already accepted that I probably was never going to get. And it went something like this. Hey, so I know you need a month, or I know you need the month, but I just wanted to text you and let you know that I am truly sorry for the way everything went down and the way I treated you in the split. It wasn't fair. It was my coping mechanism, but I know I hurt you badly, and for that I am really, really sorry. I know there's nothing I can do at this point to take back how badly I hurt you, but I am truly sorry. And I'm really thankful that you're working on yourself and working on Landon to both be better, stronger, and happier as a result. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I felt like I was in a dream. I felt like I needed to pinch myself. I really didn't know what to do because, like I said, I was already at a point where I was accepting that was never going to happen. But I also knew that it might not be completely genuine, and I don't know where it's coming from. So I just responded, I really appreciate you saying that. It means a lot. I hope one day we can sit down and you're able to say it in person and we can go from there. And she said, you let me know when. And we exchanged back and forth. I asked her, what made her come to this point. And she said she had a coworker tell her that she really needed to listen to my last episode on regrets. And she realized that how selfish she had been and everything else. And I was starting to feel hopeful. Sorry, if I close the mic on and off, it's because I'm kind of battling a cold and I don't want to sniffle into the microphone. I was starting to feel hopeful. I was starting to feel like, okay, my persistence of trying to do the right thing at all times and trying to make peace with her and trying to make peace with myself, and always, no matter how poorly she treated me, no matter what despicable, disgusting thing she did to me, and I'm sorry that I'm using this language, but I'm just, I'm at a point where we'll get to it. But just know that I'm sorry. I'm going to do my best to not throw dirt and to not disparage her name or her personality or her character on this episode, but it's going to be hard because, anyways, I'll get to that point. But the thing is that she did lots of things that you just don't do to people, especially people you love. And so despite all of that, though, I did my damnedest to not let anger take over me, to not do anything out of spite, to not do anything out of hate, to not ruin her life. If you've been following my episode, I've been doing just that. Because, like I said, trust me, I can. With this microphone and all of the listeners that I have and all of the people in her life and my life that listen to this show, I can. But I won't, because it's not healthy, it's not right, and it's not going to help me. It's not going to find my healing. It's not going to find my peace. All it's going to do is cause more anguish and war and battle within side of me and within side of her. And so I'm choosing not to take that route, and I haven't been. I've had like maybe 2 times where I just let my anger take control, and I did my best to let her know that I was angry without without calling her names, without calling her vile things, without using vulgar language. And I think all in all, I think I've handled this the best that anybody could be expected to handle this. And now here comes this apology that I never thought I was going to get. And I thought, man, this is paying off. You did it the right way. You did it the healthy way. And she sees that and she's coming around. And maybe there's hope. And so she said she listened to that episode of Regrets. And she said she listened to 2 other episodes. And that she's willing to talk. And so I said, listen, for me to really help me out, because we've been so distant and because we haven't really talked except for just heated exchanges, or not even heated exchanges, but just passionate exchanges of just raw emotion, I asked her if I could write her an email explaining all of the ways that she hurt me. Because in order for this bridge to be mended, I need her to know, this is how bad you hurt me, and this is how awful your decisions and how unhealthy your decisions were. And so she said, yeah, she'd be open to that. And so, again, I'm getting hopeful, because it's like, finally she's somewhere at a point to where she knows that the healthy thing to do is to mend this bridge and to make this right and to hear me out. I finally get to be heard. And I don't know if it ever hit her or anything to have that, but it meant the world to me, because I've been hanging on to a month and a half long of thoughts and feelings and emotions that I've had to work out all by myself. Yes, I've had support, and yes, I've had this show, but you still have to work it out in your own head. And you have to work out the emotions, and you have to fight through it all on your own. Nobody can do it for you. And the only person that could really do it for me was her, in the way that I'm doing what I was doing then. And that was just to let you know, this is how you hurt me. And so I prepared her for it. I said, listen, I'm not going to hold back. If you're truly open to listen to me, and this is how I started out the email, you're going to have to hear some hard truths and some hard realities, and you're going to have to listen with an open heart and an open mind, and with respect for me and respect for my son, and you're going to have to hear some hard things, and I'm not going to hold back. And so I did. I wrote a very, very long email. And it's crazy, because I talk about the loop. I talk about the loop of everything that's gone on, and it just keeps getting added. But it just, everything from the minute that this thing all turned sideways. And I'm talking about the second, because even before she ended it came out of the blue that she started doing things that just were not right. They were completely wrong, and I found them out, and I already knew where it was going. And so from that second that I started addressing those issues with her, all the way up until that point, at least last week, she has made just one unhealthy choice after another, and one choice that just benefited her and her alone, and it consumed everybody around her. And I needed to let her know that. I needed to let her know that it was not okay. It wasn't right. And if she's truly on this path of, I want to say I'm truly sorry for how bad you hurt me, or I hurt you, I needed her to know exactly what it is that I need her to feel sorry for. Because a lot of times, and it's true for her, and it's true for me too, but we lie to ourselves to protect ourselves. We lie to ourselves about how bad we are to other people, and we lie to ourselves about, we just lie to ourselves to make ourselves feel better about what we've done or about what we're doing. And so I had to tell her in the email, like, I need you to listen to me, and I need you to understand that I am coming from a place of long month of clarity, and I'm really good at knowing what the right thing is and the right thing isn't. And even though I make unhealthy choices all the time, I still know what they are, and I still know what you need to do and to make it right. Like, I've been reminded of that this entire month, of people reaching out to me telling me, Chris, you're doing a lot better than you give yourself credit for, and you have given me so much clarity in my life. You've given me so much clarity on what I should do, and you don't even know you're doing it. And so I've taken some confidence, and I've taken some pride that yes, I do know what I'm talking about with this stuff. I do know what I'm talking about, what it takes to make a relationship work. I do know what I'm talking about, what it means to seek forgiveness and find peace between two people. And so I expressed that to her. And then I went through it. I went through line by line, every single minute to every single detail of every single decision she made, everything she said, and what it did to me, what it did to my son, what it did to her son, and what it's doing to her as a person, and how it's hurting her, whether she sees it or likes it or not, whether she thinks she's doing herself a service or not. I expressed my view and my point and my perspective. And so that same day while I was writing it, that's one of the reasons why I didn't do a show Wednesday, because I was writing that email. And I wrote the email, got halfway through, and we had to go to karate, and she was at karate, and I don't know if I should say this or not, but I kind of got more hope. Some people believe me, some people don't believe me when I say this, but every single person that I've proven this ability to and has actually been honest with me about me being right, it's that I can read people like a book. It's a blessing and a curse. Now, when I saw her at karate, so the boys have karate together, and it's Mother's Day month, and so mothers get to take classes for free, so she's out there taking classes. And I got a little bit more hope because there was a difference in her this time. There's a different vibe that I was reading. And the vibe I've been getting from her the entire month has just been this person putting on a show, putting on a front to make everybody think, including herself, that she's okay and that she's doing well and that she's happy and that she's making good decisions and that she is she's in a better place now. And that's the body language I've been picking up from her anytime that I've seen her. And there's been a wall against me. There's been just a don't even look at me, don't even talk to me. You're a complete stranger to me. And it was always hard seeing that for me. It always drove my anxiety. It always brought up the loop because I'm telling you, the day before any of this started, we were having an amazing flippin' weekend without the kids. We went on an awesome date Friday night. We had a great day Saturday, went out with friends and did karaoke. Everything was good. And then Sunday, we just had a chill day. We hung out together. We watched TV. We just did everything that couples are supposed to do. And then the Monday afterwards, boom, it's over. It's done. It spirals out of control. And now, for the last month and a half, I've been looking at this person who thinks I'm a complete stranger. Somebody who told me in January that I'm the person of her life, and now I'm a damn stranger to her. But I am really sorry, guys. Okay, so that Wednesday, I see her at karate, and there's a difference. Whether she knows it or not, whether she wants to admit it or not, there was a person who, at some point, I don't know when, admitted defeat. And I don't know what defeat she admitted to herself. And I know she's seeing a therapist, or at least she says she is. And I saw somebody who looked like they were trying to build themselves back up and trying to find ways to find peace. And I don't know what her journey has been. That's just all I know that I could read off of her. It was a person who looked like had been going through a lot of self-reflection. And without talking to her or having a conversation with her, I don't know what that self-reflection was. And then so at the end of class, we said hi to each other with a smile for the first time in forever. And I talked to her a little bit about my EMDR. And this is the other thing I forgot to mention. When we were conversating that Monday after she apologized, and I was asking her what made her come around, and I asked her to listen to episode 3, the one on my worthlessness, and I told her that it was something that I wish I would have had her know about me, and I was sorry that I hid it from her. And she said she would listen that day. No idea if she ever listened to it. Never got back to me about it. Which I kind of expected, but in the same way it kind of hurt because, I just miss my friend. Like, I miss that person that would support me and help me and encourage me and tell me that she loves me and cares about me. Going through this without her, it's probably what I needed, because I do need to find my own healing and my own peace and my own self-worth and my own self-validation on my own. And this is probably the kick in the ass that I needed to get me here. And I know that in the long run, for me personally, it'll be good, but it's hard. And sorry, I just sniffed in the mic and I said I wouldn't do that. Forgot to turn off the mic. Can't edit it out. And so I told her about the EMDR. I'm actually going to go to it after this episode is over. By the way, I'm recording this on Thursday. Is today Michael Jordan Day? Yes, Thursday, May 23rd. And so I gave her a hug, and when we said goodbye to each other, and it was a half-hearted hug on her part, which kind of sucked, but I get it. And so I went home, I finished up the email, and I hit send. And then I was feeling good. I was feeling really good. I know I had said I didn't say harsh things, I said harsh realities and harsh truths, and I told her that I really want her back in my life in any degree that I can, so that I can get my friend back, and so I can get her son back into my life, and so my son can get her back into his life. And that's all I want. But I also told her that it's not just going to be an I'm sorry and you're good to go. Like, you're going to have to work to mend this bridge. And it takes more than just saying I'm sorry, let's move forward, and that's it. Like, no, you're going to have to work to earn my trust back. You're going to have to work to make this right between us. And I don't know what that looks like. I just know that we need to make it right. I don't know what making it right looks like, but that has to be an open discussion of together of what we both believe that we can and can't do to make this right. And then I told her that I desperately want her in my son's life, but I need to protect his heart, and he has not been handling this well at all, and she owes him an apology, and she needs to make it right with him. And out of all the trust that she can gain back from me, my trust of her with him will be the last thing she earns, because I will protect my son, and I will not have her rip him apart again like she did before. And I'm sorry if that sounds like I'm throwing mud, but that's just how I feel. Like, nothing about this situation angers me and hurts me and pains me more than how she's affected these two boys with her decisions. And so, but I felt good. Last week was going great. After I found out that she was apologizing and I got to write this email, I found out that I get to go to a different area at my job, and it's been something I've been wanting for a long time because where I'm at now is very physically demanding, and I'm trying not to tell you guys what my job is. I don't think it's a big deal, but at the same time, I have this fear that if I say something on this show or if I say something on my other show that somebody doesn't like, I have this fear of the society that we live in today that somebody's going to call at my work and tell them that I said this, this, and this, and then I end up getting fired. So I'm going to try and be as vague and still tell you what's going on with that, but I'm very happy to be in the new area that I'm at. And because of that, I've had to tell my customers that I see from day to day that I'm not going to be able to be their guy anymore. That I'm moving to a different area within the job, and I'm no longer able to have them as my customers. And the responses have been amazing, but they've also been hard because they are the reasons why I stayed where I was for so long, and they are the reasons why it was really hard to make this decision because I knew they would miss me and I would miss them. There's two older ladies that are my customers. One is exactly 60 years to the day older than me. The first time I met with her was when I first started in this area. And it was like 2 or 3 days before our birthday. And she says, my birthday's coming up soon. And I was like, that's awesome. My birthday's coming up soon. And she said, my birthday's August 16th. And I said, no way. That is my birthday. Showed her my license. And so 3 days later, I brought her some cupcakes. And every year since, we have been exchanging gifts on our birthday. It's really cool for me to know that when I was born, there was this beautiful, sweet lady celebrating her 60th birthday, and now our paths crossed while I'm in my 30s and she's in her 90s, and it's been awesome. And it's been sad because she broke her hip in January and she's been out of her house. I guess they found out she also had a cancer somewhere, so they had to operate on her. And she comes back home June 10th. I haven't seen her in 6 months. And I'm upset that I'm not going to see her before I leave because I switch over on Saturday. And so I told her daughter, and her daughter was just heartbroken. She says that they love me, and it was nice. And then there's the other old lady, Linda, and she is an amazing woman. She's a little rough around the edges, but she means well, and she's sweet. And I've won a way into her heart. I think more than I realized until now. I always knew she really liked me, but when I told her that I was leaving, she damn near wanted to cry, and so did I. Sorry, it's heartwarming, and you just never know how much of an impact you have on people until they tell you. And so it made me feel great, even though I'm crying right now and I don't know why. It made me feel great because people appreciate me. And like I mentioned before, April 6th, I was feeling very suicidal. And one of the ways that I got myself out of it is I imagined my funeral. And then I started realizing how many people would be there and how many people would be sad. And it was just, God, I do not know why I'm crying. And so every single customer, and I'm talking like 20, 30 people here, every single one of them were like, no, we don't want to lose you, Chris. You're so good to us, and you're so good at what you do, and we're not going to find another person to do it like you do it. And I didn't realize at the time that had I gone through with it on April 6th, that it wouldn't just be my family and friends. God, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Dead air is bad for radio, but I had to turn the mic off for a little bit. I didn't realize that all of my customers would be there too, probably. Or that if they found out, they would be heartbroken. And so Linda, she was upset, but she was glad I was doing something that was good for me and that she was going to miss me and that nobody else is going to be able to replace me. And then she said something that I never had the heart to tell her, that me and my ex were going through a divorce. She always asked about her. She always asked about the kids. She always knew our crazy adventures. She always knew about our trips. She always knew about how happy I was with her and how happy we were as a family. And so I just never had the heart to tell her. I know she'd be supportive of me. I know she would be there for me, but I just never had the heart to tell her. So she told me, as I'm about to leave, this was Wednesday. No, yesterday was Wednesday. This was Tuesday, because I didn't get to see her until Tuesday that I was leaving. And she said that your wife is one of the luckiest ladies in the world. And I still didn't have the heart to tell her. It kind of hurt, because you sit there and you think, why can't everybody else see it but her? And and I had to battle some feelings of worthlessness, because it's like, well, maybe other people can only see it because they don't know me as good as she does, and she knows something that they don't, and so I'm not worth it. And then I had to, tell myself, no, that's a lie. That's not true. She's the one that's wrong, and everybody else is right. So I got the news that I'm moving areas, and that was good. Good news for me. And it has been heartwarming and heartfelt that all these people have been saying nice things. And then this past weekend, I had a friend in town, and it was awesome. I just kind of tried to do my best to disconnect and hang out with them. And we did a lot of outdoor stuff. I went sailing again. Went out with another two friends. Went to a place called Joysticks. It's where you have like a whole bunch of arcade games from the old school days that we could play for free. We got to play Ninja Turtles arcade game, which is a game that I played incessantly on a cruise once when I was in 3rd grade, and spent a ton of money, or a ton of my parents' money, on that game. And now I get to play it for free, and we actually went through and beat it because you didn't have to put in quarters. And it was a good weekend. Another friend in town, somebody that I've known for a while on Twitter, been connecting with them through a sports show. Actually, it was 2 friends that I've been connecting with through a sports show. Met them out by Disney, and it was great to actually get to meet them in person. And it was a good weekend. And then now I'm gonna get to the point where, sorry, I had to clear my nose again. I'm gonna get to the point where I'm ready to have a good show and tell you about all the good things happening and how my life is turning around and things are great. And my life still is turning around, and my life is still great, but it got harder this week, and it started on Monday night. I don't know why, but Monday during the day, my loop started playing again, and it was the first time in a while that it did, and it took me a while to get it to stop. And my anxiety was going, and so I just did all of the things that I have been working on to do, and I got it somewhat under control. And then I ran into the ex at the grocery store. And Monday night, just so you guys know, is Cub Scouts nights. I am the Cub Master I was. And so I have to run the pack meetings. And it was advancement night. And she had asked me if Little America was going to be there, and if Little America did everything that he needed to do to advance. And I told her I didn't know. I've been super focused on everything else, that I kind of dropped the ball these last few weeks with the advancement stuff. So I didn't know where it was at. And that was that. And so I sent her a message afterwards, and I told her that this meeting was going to be hard for me because seeing her at karate is one thing because I don't have to do anything. I can play on my phone, I can focus on Landon. I don't have to do anything, or I can be an anxietal mess, and it's fine because I can keep that to myself. But this is going to be hard because now I have to get in front of a group of people and be energetic and be happy and celebratory and run a meeting. And so I did. It was hard. I felt scatterbrained. I felt like I failed the boys. I was okay. Like I feel like I did okay, but I could have made it so much more. I didn't even plan for this meeting. I've just had so much going on and so much on my mind that this truly did come into the back burner, and I felt bad. But I made it through. I feel like it all in all was a good meeting. They had a fundraiser, and the top den got to pie me and the it's not commissioner. What is the word I'm looking for? It's not counselor. Anyways, the committee meeting, maybe it is commissioner. I don't know, the head of the committee. It's gonna bother me that I can't think of that word. Stupid ADHD. They got to pie us in the face, and so they did. It was my son's den. My son pied me. Another boy pied me, and then her son pied the other person, and so did another boy. And so we both got 2 pies to the face. It was fun. I got back at them. I threw the shaving, or not the shaving cream, but the whipped cream on them. It was a good time. And then, came the we're on our path to healing and hopefully mending a bridge. I have no idea if she's read the email at this point or how much, but I still felt like because I was able to talk to her and everything that things were still good. And then she's deciding to leave the pack next year. And she's taking, I guess, I didn't know this until that Monday, that all the other boys in my son's den are going with them. And so at the end of the meeting, I see that she's gathering up all the boys in our den to take a picture, and Landon's not in the picture. And so I said, hey, I find Landon. I'm like, hey, buddy, they're taking a picture over there. You need to go get in it. And so he went over there, and then her son pushed him out of the way and said, no, you're not in this picture. And she said, no, like Landon can be in the picture. And so she took a picture with Landon. And then she said, okay, Landon, now get out of the picture so I could take another picture. And I lost it. And so I went up to her and I said, why did you kick Landon out of the picture? And she said, oh, well, we're going to a new pack, and I just wanted a picture with just the boys going into the new pack. And I could feel my anxiety just going through the roof because you just don't do that. Like, if you want a picture with the new boys, take that next year. This meeting is about this year and celebrating what we all did throughout the year. This is about your den. Do not make my son feel left out because you're doing something else. And I didn't say any of that at the time because I knew if I did, I would cause a scene. And I knew I was getting to that point where my anger and frustration was to the point where I was going to cause a scene. And luckily I had shaken most of the parents' hands and talked to them a little bit because I just said, Landon, we need to go. And I bounced. And I sent her a text message letting her know that was messed up, that Landon didn't deserve that. And I just didn't understand it. I just don't get it. I would never do that to her son. She would be highly upset if I did that to her son. Her son would be highly upset if I did that to him because he notices those things more than my son does. And I just didn't understand it. Now, she did apologize for doing it, but it just wasn't good enough because it's like you're constantly doing these things and you're making these decisions and you don't think about other people around you. You don't take anybody else's perspective into consideration but your own, and then you do things like this and then you just say sorry rather than just growing as a person. And so I sent her a message telling her that, like, this is a problem for you and it's not okay. You need to start thinking about other people around you and how your decisions affect people. And I said all of that, and she sent me a message saying, look, this isn't healthy for us. I'm going to go my own way. You go your own way. I'm going to focus on Landon, or you focus on Landon. I'm going to focus on my son. And I think that's just going to be the healthiest choice. And my heart crushed. Because for a whole week, I had this hope that I was going to get to have Nicholas back in my life. Every time I see Nicholas, that kid's face lights up. And he loves me and adores me. And my face lights up too. And I just desperately want to be in his life. And so I'm going to say this. She's done again. And it's caused me lots of depression and anxiety all over again because she didn't kick me all the way back to my restart, but I have to go back from the beginning for the most part to finding acceptance and peace with losing her son. And I sent her message after message telling her that it's not okay, it's not healthy. Like, you think going our own ways is the healthy choice, but it's not. And I'm going to say this. This point was lost on her, and I hope it's not lost on you. Anytime two humans have conflict, and I've always told you I'm not an expert, I'm not going to give you advice, but I don't care what experts say, I don't care what anybody else says. This is my truth, this is my reality, and it would take a lot to convince me otherwise. When two people are in conflict, whether it's a family member, a spouse, a child, a friend, a coworker, no matter what it is, there is only one healthy way to get over there's only one healthy way to deal with that. There's only one healthy choice to deal with that. And that is for either one or both parties to admit their wrongs, to admit to the fact that they hurt that other person and that it was not okay, that they are sorry, and that they're going to do whatever it takes and put in the hard work to make it right. And then the next step is that the other person needs to accept that apology and work on forgiveness and also work as hard as they can to make it right. That is the only way to solve a conflict in a healthy way. Any decision outside of that by either or both parties is unhealthy. And then all the individuals involved will now have to find healthy ways to come to peace and acceptance on their own to help them with the fact that either one or both of them made an unhealthy choice of not working it out. And obviously, the deeper the relationship you have with that person, the harder it gets to overcome that unhealthy choice of making the decision of not trying to make it right. And I told her that. I said, absolutely not in any shape or form is us going our separate ways and never dealing with all of this hurt and all of this pain the healthy decision here. It's just the easier decision. It's easy to not work out the problems, especially ones that are this deep. And there are not any problems. There are really no problems in the entire world that cannot be resolved. Even murder and rape, I have seen story after story of somebody who was raped or somebody who had lost a family member to another person, and those two people were able to come to a place of healing together because one of them had to admit that they did wrong and they had to make it right, and they were going to do whatever it took to make that decision right, and the other one had to take the time to work really hard to also forgive them and make it right and come to a place of peace with each other. So there literally is no problem in this entire world that this is impossible to do. Every single conflict you have in life can be healed and can be resolved. Because if a person can forgive a murderer of their child or a person can forgive and come to a relationship of some sort with a rapist, then anybody can do it. And certainly we can, her and I. And certainly you can with whoever you got in life. Now, I can't promise you that the other person is going to follow suit. And that's what's happening with me. I've been desperately trying to get her to try to mend this bridge and to try to come to a place of peace with me together and work on this together, but she doesn't want to. So now I have to take her unhealthy decision of not wanting to do that, and I have to find my own peace and my own acceptance, and so does my son. And the thing that sucks about this whole situation is everybody's on board to make this right. Her son's ready to go. I'm ready to go. Landon's ready to go. Hell, even my ex is ready and able to willing and allow it to happen. The only person who's not on board for doing this is her. And it's frustrating because it can be done, and she's not wanting to. And I know, peace and acceptance. I'm getting there. I'm just letting it off my chest. So then, to make the matters worse, because that happened on Tuesday night, to make matters worse, it's almost like Landon knew that my ex gave up, that we had been going back and forth about we should fight for this friendship and for these kids, and that I told her, like, there is no greater example for our boys than to show them that no matter how bad things get, love and patience and peace conquers all, and maturity, and you make things right between yourselves, and you show them what it means to resolve a conflict. And I'm just not getting through to her. I know it. And it's frustrating because I don't want to say it, but I know that I'm right. One of the things she told me, she says that she feels like I'm wanting to still get back with her and that I'm holding on to something that's not there, and that I was using the boys as leverage. And that really pissed me off because she's basically downgrading my love for our boys. And she's basically telling me that I'm using our children as a pawn to make her feel bad. And man, it's just not okay for her to say these things. And so I told her that I'm not holding out on a relationship with her. I am at a point now where I know what I need and what I don't need from a relationship. And she is millions of light years away from being the woman that I need in my life. I did tell her that because we're still married and because we are a family and everything else, that yes, in the back of my mind, if she's willing to put in the work, I would be willing to put in the work as well. Because I made a promise of for better, for worse, and I didn't take that promise lightly. And it's at least worth trying for the boys. Again, I don't think anybody should stay together for their kids, but they should at least try. And then if you can't, then it is what it is. You have to move on and you have to help the children. But and so I told her, look, when I chose to be in a relationship with you, I chose to be in a relationship with your son. And we both made a point to make this a family. And we both told each other that we would always love each other's children, and we would always consider that child one of our own. And that's what society tells us to do, right? That's what you're supposed to do. If you're about to get into a relationship or you're in a relationship with somebody with a child and you're not loving that kid like it's your own, then don't do it. Get the hell out of there. Stay the hell away from them. They don't need you around. Do not just look at the child as like a plus one or somebody you have to deal with just so you can be with the person you want to be with. And don't, if you have the child, don't introduce them to somebody or bring somebody into their lives unless you're committed to have that person stay in their life forever. Just don't do it. Because then on the flip side of society, we say that this is acceptable, that what what she is doing is right. And that is what you're supposed to do. That it just doesn't work out and kids are resilient and all this. Like, no, that's BS. That is BS. Don't tell these children we're family and that we love them and then leave them and then tell them that they can't see that other person anymore because it's not their kid. It's messed up what we do to kids and how we look at them in these types of blended family situations. Because whether or not I'm the biological father and whether or not she's the biological mother, these kids now have an empty hole in their heart. And it kills me to think that her son thinks that I left his life. It kills me to know that he has no clue how much I'm fighting for him. And it kills me that I have to let him go. And I don't know how. How do you let go of a 10-year-old boy? How do you let go of a child that you don't want to let go, that you had no decision in letting go, and who he had no decision in it either? That decision was made for him, and that decision was made for me. And stop making decisions like this for your kids. I'm sorry. Just people who've never been through a divorce or any of that sort of stuff, like they just don't understand what they're doing to children and what kind of hole it leaves for them. And yes, I hope that he finds peace and acceptance. And I hope that she busts her ass to make that happen for him. But it still doesn't make it okay. You don't make decisions saying they'll get over it. Kids are resilient. God, I'm so tired of hearing people tell me that. Like they're just expendable pawns. Like, who does that to a child? And I asked her that. I said, who has my son text her on occasion to tell her he loves her and misses her, and her instant response isn't, what do I got to do, Chris, to get back in Landon's life? What do I have to do? I will never understand it. I will never understand anybody who leaves a child behind, who doesn't do what it takes to stay in that child's life, and who doesn't do what it takes to keep that person in that child's life no matter how much they hurt you. Because I'm ready to keep her in Landon's life. And the reason why is because on Tuesday night, I find my son curled underneath the blanket, completely covered, all the way against the wall, crying because he misses her. And I can't do anything about it except for hold him and tell him I love him and continue his therapy. But it makes me angry because she put him there. And no matter how much I begged and how much I pleaded with her to at least slow down and let's try to do this the healthy way for us and these boys, and she didn't want to do it. And she doesn't want to do it again, and it's just kicks me back down to realize that to her, we're not important enough to do it for. And I'm okay with it being me, but I'm not okay with it being my son. It's not okay, and it's not right, and it's not healthy. I am so sorry, guys. I don't know what to do. I know this show is supposed to be about mental illness, and I just kind of just went off. I mean, I guess this is what my mental illness looks like. This is what my anxiety looks like. This is what goes on in my head over and over and over again. And I wanted to talk about happiness. And everything that I've told you right now, everything I've said in this mic, I've told her. And then some. And a few people have told me, Chris, like sometimes you just need to keep it short and simple. And sometimes you sending long text messages and emails pushes her away. And you know what? I'm just done. I'm just done with giving her excuses. At some point in time, she needs to grow up. She needs to be an adult. And she needs to fight hard for things that matter in life. And she needs to make things right. And she needs to do the right thing. And I should be allowed at this point to have my voice heard, no matter how long or how how hard it is. I deserve it because I've taken a ton of punishment from her, and she's done more than her fair share of things far worse than what I've done by just talking too much, to where I should be pushed away. But I'm still here trying to make it work, so she needs to put in the work too. I'm tired of catering to her. And so I'll get on to what the title of this episode is: The Lie of Happiness. And I'm sorry that update took way too long. This is why I shouldn't do shows every week and a half. I should do them a lot shorter so my updates aren't as long. But it was good. Maybe this episode wasn't for you guys. Maybe this episode was me. I feel a lot better getting all of that off my chest and getting it out into other people's ears. And I appreciate you for listening and putting up with me. I really do thank you guys. I thank everybody for your support. I thank everybody for your messages and just seeing all the listens. Even those who don't message me, I see all of the listens, and I know that they're listening because they care and they're listening because it's helping them. But I want to move on to happiness. And one of the things that she had told me over and over and over again throughout this breakup is I need to be happy, and you're not making me happy anymore, and I need to chase happiness. And then she would double down on that throughout the entire process. Anytime I tried to work it out with her, tell her we need to work, she'd say, no, I'm happy right now. I'm doing things that make me happy, and I'm the happiest person alive. And what you guys don't know is that all of the things that she's doing to make herself happy are just one unhealthy choice after another. And that's the thing about happiness. And I'm just as guilty as this. I know, and I apologize to her for it, that I told her throughout the entire relationship that I've been in that unhappy relationship, that unfulfilling relationship, that unsatisfying relationship, and I'm not going to do it again. So if at any point in time that I feel like I'm not happy, then I will try to respectfully say we need to go our own ways. And I was wrong for saying that. And the reason why I was wrong for saying that, and why I've been wrong my entire life, and why most of us are wrong, even us as a society, is happiness is a lie. The lie of happiness is you go out and you do things that make you happy and life will be good. And that we need to make ourselves happy. And we can't make everybody happy. We can only make ourselves happy. So make yourself happy. It's all about happiness. The problem with happiness is that happiness is a reaction to something. It is not a state of mind. Happiness is just a feeling that is fleeting. You will never, ever, 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 ever be happy all the time. You can't make everyone happy, and you're damn sure not going to make yourself happy. Now, you can do lots of things that make you happy, and you can do anything and everything you want to make yourself happy, but as soon as you're done doing that thing, eventually the happiness wears off once you're done doing whatever it is you're doing. And then you're left with whatever you had before you started making yourself happy. And you've fixed nothing, and you've done nothing, and you've solved nothing. And to give you a few examples of this, there was this show called, I think, My 600-Pound Life. And there was a man who had weighed 600 pounds, and I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, the depression or the overweight obesity. But either way, they're both there now. And naturally, he thought, and everybody thinks, if I just lose the weight, I'll be a happier person. And he was doing it. And he lost all of his weight, and he was feeling good, he was feeling happy, and he was doing something that made him happy. Losing weight made him happy. Working out makes him happy. It puts the endorphins in his brain, and he's doing fantastic. Problem is he didn't work on the depression. He worked on happiness. And so once the whole journey of losing weight wore off, now he's just left with whatever he had before, and that was depression and sadness and whatever other demons he was dealing with. And so naturally, he started treating his depression with eating again, and he gained all the weight all the way back. Because he chased happiness. Because he chased an idea of happiness. Because he chased something that said, if my life was this, it will be complete. And he chased that happiness. When I think about suicide and celebrities committing suicide, it always frustrates me when people say, how could he kill himself? He had all this money. He had all this fame. He had all these things. And that's the messed up part of society. We think that happiness should be our solution to everything. Yes, Robin Williams had all the money in the world. People adored him and loved him. But deep down inside, I don't know what it was, and I'm not going to speak to it, but I've always known that he had that darkness inside of him, that he had a lot of pain inside of him. And when you're chasing worldly things and you're chasing all kinds of different things and you're chasing happiness, you're never going to solve your problems. And you're never going to have a good life. And so whether you do healthy things to make you happy or you do unhealthy things to make you happy, if you don't address your underlying issues and you don't take care of your mental health, you're just running in circles. Because eventually that happiness is going to end. Eventually, what you're doing isn't going to make you happy. Eventually, the depression and anxiety and whatever else you got going on with you that you're running away from, that you're trying to numb out with happiness, is going to overpower you. And it doesn't matter what you do, it's not going to make you happy. And this is the way I've been living my life. I don't like my job. Now I want a new job. I don't like my relationship. Maybe I need a new relationship. I don't like this. Maybe I need a new this. If I just had this, I would be happy. And then I get that, and I'm still not happy. Or I'm still depressed. And it's because I'm chasing happiness instead of what I should be chasing, what we all should be chasing. And that is peace and health. Peace is a state of mind. Peace is a calmness. You're never going to be happy all the time. You're going to be sad. You're going to be grieving. You're going to have things that happen to you. You're never going to be happy all the time, and you're not going to be able to take care of those things with happiness. But you can be at peace all the time, or you can strive to be at peace all the time. And being at peace means accepting whatever state you're in, your happiness, your sadness, your anger, your whatever it is. And being at peace means being at peace with everything, being at peace with your relationships, and being at peace with yourself, being at peace with your current situation, understanding that my situation sucks, but the only way I'm going to overcome it is I first have to come to peace with it, and I have to come to acceptance so that I can gain mental clarity and start doing positive things to make my life better. And that's something that I do to make myself peaceful. Is I do positive things. I do things like this show. I do things like help other people. And I do things like talking out my problems and sharing them with somebody and everything else. And I do it by loving other people. The greatest peace I've had is loving my ex still. And holding on to that love. Not in the romantic way, but in the way that says, I love you and I'm here for you always. And I find peace in always taking the high road with her. And for the most part, staying patient. And telling her that I love her, telling her that I'm here for her. I've told her multiple times, you are going through something and I don't know what it is, but you need to figure it out, and I'm here for you. No matter how much you've hurt me, I still love you, and I'm still here for you. And I find peace in that, because there is peace in love. There is peace in love, and sorry to get all hippie-ish on you, but it's true. There's love and peace. And I'm not religious, and as much as I'm not a doctor, I'm definitely not a theologian, and I don't know a lot about most religions, but I do know enough to know that most religions will never tell you to look for happiness, but almost all religions will tell you to look for peace, that you have to have peace. And then the other part is health, and yes, that means a healthy body, but it also means a healthy mind. It means having healthy relationships with things and people. It means making healthy choices, doing things that are healthy for your life. So, she wants to say that, anyways, I'm not going to go into throwing mud, but you just have to make healthy choices. You are never going to be at peace, and you're never going to be at true health until you make your best effort to make healthy choices. Because then once you stop making a healthy choice in life, that is when your life starts to go to hell. And that is when it starts to unravel. And so you need to get back on track and make those healthy decisions. Healthy decisions are hard. Healthy decisions take work and they take effort and they take a concerted concentration to get it done. Healthy choices are not easy. And taking the easy way out doesn't make life easier. I promise you, in the long run, it's going to suck for you. And you need to have healthy relationships with your exercise. You need to have healthy relationships with alcohol. You need to have healthy relationships with your spouse. You need to have healthy relationships with sex. You need to have a healthy relationship with your job. It all matters about you having a healthy relationship and peace of mind with everything in your life and striving for that. That is what I've found throughout this whole entire process of me always saying I need happiness, of her always saying I need happiness. Look, I can go and snort coke, bang 50 strippers, speed down the highway, and have a whole night of fun, and that's happy. That is happy. But I guarantee you it's not healthy, and it's not peaceful. And I will crash very hard. And so that is why happiness is a lie. At least the chasing of happiness is a lie. Because again, we can all do things that make us happy that are completely unhealthy and will absolutely destroy and ruin our life and the lives of others. And if you're doing something for your happiness that consumes the people around you and makes other people mad and makes other people upset and hurts other people, then chances are what you're doing isn't healthy and it's not peace. Now, granted, sometimes when we do things to find peace and to find good health, it hurts other people. If you are truly in a bad relationship where the other person is toxic, you will need to find peace and health by leaving them. And it will probably hurt them. But the thing is, I've always said this, you can't please everybody, but you can do right by everybody. You can't make everybody happy, but you can do right by everybody. So if you make the choice to make a hard decision to find your own health and peace by hurting another person with your decision to do that, do it the right way and do right by them. Don't do anything to hurt them further. Remain patient with them, remain loving with them, remain understanding of their hurt, but also stay fast in what you're doing. And that, again, is why my ex never did that. At no point in time did she ever consider my feelings. At no point in time has she, other than the 2 apologies and say she wants to sit down and talk, other than that, I've gotten none of that. But she's been chasing this happiness, and I've watched from afar some of the destructive things she's done, and to this day I don't understand why anybody else in her life isn't. Maybe they are, I don't know, and that she's just not listening, but I can tell you right now, chasing happiness is never going to get you anywhere. You have to find peace, and you have to find love, and you have to find health. Peace, health, and love. Like I said, getting a little hippie-ish on you, but it is what it is. That's the end of my show. Again, I really appreciate you guys letting me take the first 45 minutes to 50 minutes venting a little bit. Like I said, I try not to talk bad or anything, but it just needed to come off my chest. It's been a hard 3 days having to re-accept the fact that I'm losing a child that I immensely love, and it's not fair. It's not right. It really hurts. I don't know how I'm going to get over that one. Because it's just like me thinking about losing little America. I don't even want to imagine my world without little America, and I'm having to imagine my world without other little America. And it just sucks because the answer is easy. Obviously, the path to get that answer or to execute that answer isn't easy. But it sucks. And the apology was nice, but unfortunately, apology without action is just manipulation. And that's what I got sold last week. It's just manipulation. She wanted to be sorry, but she didn't want to have to do anything of what it takes to show that that sorry meant something. And that sucks. So that's another thing I'm going to have to accept. Sorry, went off on a tangent again. I'm trying to end the episode. You'd think I'd be ready by now, but I'm not. All right, National Suicide Prevention Hot Lifeline. First, I say this. You don't have to be suicidal to have mental health issues. And I'm not a doctor, but if you feel like something's going on, something's holding you back, you're always tired, you're always sad, you're always angry, you're always this, you're always that, don't just brush it off. Go get help. You don't have to be suicidal to get help and to see a therapist. Do what you can to find yourself a therapy or a therapist and find a way to get better. Maybe you don't have mental illness. Maybe you're just going through a hard time in life and you still need that therapist to kind of help you get through and find some clarity in it. Or maybe you do have a mental illness and that therapist can help point you in the right direction of what you need to do to take care of that mental illness, and you should, because I didn't until now. And I can list the many regrets that I have that I didn't do it. You can actually listen to it, episode 7, regrets. But that's the end of this episode. If you are feeling suicidal, please, 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 please don't do it. I'm begging you. It will get better. Just like you say, things can't get any worse or things just keep getting worse. Eventually, they will just keep getting better. And I don't know what the plan is for my life, but I know it's going to get better. And I know even if it's not the way that I want it to look like, it's going to look the way that it's supposed to be. And it's going to get better. So give yourself a shot. You're not you yet. You are not who you are right now. So give yourself some time. Reach out for help. If you're not comfortable reaching out to me, I am at the Chris America, or you can hit up at Battle Inside Pod. Message either one of those on Twitter. I am still working on an email. We're going to try and get an email with the Scout Team Radio site, and we're going to try and create a different page for the show so that way it's easier to find episodes, but we're working on that. But if you don't want to reach out to me, you don't want to reach out to a friend or a family member, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-8255, or you can text HOME to 741-741, HOME to 741-741, or if you're not in the United States, I believe it's suicide.org. Yeah, it's suicide.org. That'll give you a list of all the different countries that you can find to that you can call. The suicide hotlines all over the world. So yeah. Actually, I got to get going now because in 50 minutes. Sorry, I had to plug in my phone for the music. In 50 minutes, I'm going to be going to my next therapy session, and it's the EMDR. And I'm kind of nervous about it. Sorry, there's a commercial on the music I'm about to play. I'm kind of nervous about it because it's supposed to bring out a lot of my deep, dark traumas that have existed in my life, and I'm nervous about tapping into those feelings because I've kept them at bay to a comfortable sense. They're always there, they always still hurt, but they've been kept at a comfortable sense, and I've never wanted to address them because I don't want to feel any more pain than what I already have. But I need to because having it there is not good for me, and it's had so many effects on my life that I need to get it over with and get it done, rip off the Band-Aid and do it. But I hope you guys have a great day. Hopefully this isn't as bad as I think it's going to be. Sorry it's been so long. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. Have a great day.